Well, the season's turning out pretty well so far. A little bit better than last season after 4 episodes. Anyway, better get to work on my review of... What the...
Wait up!
Never!
It's just a pair of Rainbow Dash slippers!
Whoa, sweetie, what's going on?
Well, since we're reviewing Tanks for the Memories together, I thought it'd be a good idea to use Looney as a prop.
You'll never take me alive!
Thanks, but I think we have enough material to talk about the episode. Hello, Repony, and welcome back to My Little Pony What Works. Today, I'm joined by Sweetie Bloom.
Hi!
As we welcome back Cindy Morrow with her latest story, Tanks for the Memories. So, Sweetie, would you like to kick things off?
I'd be honored. This episode starts off with... a moving Cloudsdale. Wait, what? Actually, now that I think about it, Cloudsdale working like Howl's Moving Castle does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it calls back to another Cindy Morrow episode in Hurricane Fluttershy. It sort of makes sense for Cloudsdale to be mobile for weather events. It would be kind of weird if the water collection had to be a 100% accurate shot from miles away, when you could just move the cloud to the reservoir. We also get a nice callback to Fall with Their Friends with the running of the leaves. Why Applejack and Rainbow Dash aren't also participating, I have no idea.
We then see that Tank is a tired little tortoise, which makes sense. Reptiles are, as they say, cold-blooded. They depend on the weather around them to maintain their homeostasis, and if the weather's getting colder, it means poor little Tank's metabolism is going to slow way down as he gets ready for his 3-month nap. This is more or less explained by Fluttershy when Rainbow Dash goes to see her. Wait, Fluttershy is actually knowledgeable about animals? I don't see that often enough. But Rainbow Dash is in complete denial and insists on seeking a second opinion. Oh, you mean you're actually going to see a registered veterinarian? Or Spike. That works too.
She goes to Spike because dragons are related to tortoises? Is that racist or speciesist? I can't tell. Since that went nowhere, still in denial, Rainbow decides to get Tank's blood flowing by taking him on assignment. It doesn't work.
That's you, little Tank, all snuggly-wuggly getting ready to hibernate. Don't say that word!
Uh-oh, Pinky said Rainbow's trigger word. Prepare for the range!
Who said anything about anger? I didn't say anything about anger. I'm not upset, and I am not angry. Do I look angry?
No, you look perfectly normal. Nothing's changed. Also, hi, subtle South Park reference. In addition, my goodness, the facial expressions in this episode are glorious. I can see they're showing improvement in mouth movement as we see here and later in the song for the episode, which I'll talk about in a few seconds. So Rainbow in anger flies off with Tank, but she needs to find a way to stop winter from coming. But how?
And then she got an idea. An awful idea. Rainbow Dash got a wonderfully awful idea. Also, who's on first?
I don't know.
Third base!
So Rainbow decides to halt the winter production just so she can spend time with Tank. Not gonna lie, at this point in the episode, I thought there was gonna be no recovery. Rainbow felt like a selfish jerk denying facts from an expert and lashing out at her friends for her actions. And then the song saved the episode. In the past, there have been songs that have episodes become more enjoyable despite a flawed narrative, like Babsy and One Bad Apple, or the Flim Flam song in Super Speedy Side of Squeezy 6000. This episode's song saved the story from being unsalvageable. I'll Fly made the action of Rainbow Dash in this episode completely understandable. This will be the first winter without Tank, and she doesn't want to experience it alone. I'll Fly is now the frontrunner for Best Song of Season 5, definitely giving off a Defying Gravity vibe.
Meh, I liked Applejack's lullaby in the last episode. But you know, best horse. So since her first attempt at bargaining didn't work, she decides to sabotage the weather factory. Oh, she is so getting fired for this, or at least a write-up and a pay cut.
So she decides to dismantle the water storage in order to halt all water cycle production. You know, that sort of explains the drought in California right now. However, the plan does not go accordingly as Rainbow Dash puts winterization on fast forward. And then... this happens.
Prepare yourselves, every pony. Winter is coming.
Oh my gosh, that's just so beautiful. They made a Game of Thrones reference in My Little Frickin' Pony.
Thanks, M.A. Larson. As a result of the sabotage, the factory spits out a giant snowball, with Rainbow Dash in it, and creates a giant snow nuke. Okay, what is it with Rainbow Dash and nuclear warfare? We saw her destroy a barn with a rain nuke, and now she's created a non-nuclear winter in Ponyville with a giant snowball. I'm thinking we should keep her away from reading about the Manhattan Project.
I guess you could say she couldn't let it go? Eh? Get it? 'Cause everything's frozen? I'm just gonna sit in the corner now.
Anyway, Rainbow Dash, seeing how she failed in preventing winter, gives up and... Wait, did she receive any consequences for her actions? I mean, we don't see her get a summons or anything. But again, 22-minute episode, not a lot to fit in. Anywho, the rest of the girls try to cheer up Rainbow Dash to no avail. And then Fluttershy says this.
Rainbow Dash, your winter is going to be petless.
Wow, they actually remembered continuity from It Ain't Easy Being Breezy's. They displayed Fluttershy using tough love on Rainbow Dash with good intention. Suck it, Mirtawell! And everyone else is breaking down crying? Oh, damn it, it has me teary up too. Sweetie? What's wrong? Is it that Tank's leaving or everyone else is crying?
No.
Is it that Twilight's not crying or that Applejack's crying on the inside?
No.
Then what's wrong?
It's the matching slippers! They're just so cute! I can't make it take it enough!
Of course.
And also, Rarity, if you're going to be crying this much, think of investing in a wax-based mascara product. I'm just saying.
Feeling better?
Much. So after the depressing scene, we see the girls having fun in the snow, and Rainbow Dash comes to have everyone say goodbye to Tank before he hibernates. This actually surprised me. I was so afraid they were going to come up with something like, don't worry, he can stay in a sauna all winter, or something like that, to have a moral about overcoming anything if you just work together, or some of that malarkey you often see in children's shows, including this one. Instead, she just accepts it. So the lesson, while not outwardly stated, which I appreciate, seems to be more about dealing with your grief and... Hang on. This whole episode was formatted in the stages of grief.
Yep. Every action of Rainbow's was the 5 stages of grief. Denial of the facts, lashing out in anger, bargaining away around the issue, falling into a depression, and finally, accepting what had to be. The entire episode was an allegory for death, and not once did they ever use the word. Hell, the word hibernate replaced it and reaffirmed it when Pinkie Pie said this line.
Don't say that word! That's what started this all!
Speaking of the real best pony, my goodness, the comedy was in top form. I usually remember Cindy Morrow episodes for the heart and not the laughs, but this episode had me on the floor laughing my flank off. The Who's on First homage and the Game of Thrones shoutout had me in stitches. Not to mention, Pinkie breaks any walls, fourth or otherwise. In conclusion, this episode was fantastic. The story managed to pull off a 5 stages of grief episode without ever mentioning death, which proved the show could still handle mature topics and made Rainbow Dash's relationship to Tank feel genuine. The facial expressions of this episode are the best since Too Many Pinkie Pies. The song made Rainbow's behavior understandable. The humor is top-notch, and it had a great moral about accepting grief without explicitly delivering it to the audience. There is no other grade I would give this episode other than a 4-star rating. If this episode or song is not nominated for a Daytime Emmy, I will be shocked. What are your thoughts, sweetie?
Move over, Sister of Social and Flight to the Finish. I've got a new favorite episode. This episode was amazing and very relevant to my interests. Animals, grief, geek references, it had it all. I wasn't as big a fan of the song, but I still liked it. The characters were well written, even Fluttershy, and I loved the jokes and little moments. The only nitpick I might have is the blatant sidestep of my field of study. Again, but hey, I've come to expect that now. And besides, I could sit here and ponder how and why dragons are warm-blooded. In the end, all I can say is best episode ever. Keep it up, Season 5.
Well, we'll have to see how well Season 5 holds up, because next time is Appaloosa's Most Wanted.
Yes, I'm not sure what the next episode holds, but I bet you one thing.
What?
The next episode is going to take place in spring or summer, making this whole episode completely irrelevant. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a cloud robe for a certain turtle to try on.
Well, thank you very much for coming by, sweetie. And as always, I'm the voice of reason, and I'll see you next time.